Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a Q&A video I posted on my Instagram story and had a handful of people ask a bunch of really cool questions, and so I wanted to kind of get people from Instagram involved in YouTube and answer any questions that people wanted to know, and just kind of make a personable video because I haven't done anything like that yet, and so here we go. So I'm gonna read the questions off and then I'll insert the picture of the question from Instagram somewhere on the screen. First question is, what is your dream Ford vehicle? I definitely have to go with a Ford GT. Next question, what type of work do you do? So this one I can talk about forever, but to keep it short and sweet, I went to college and I got a Bachelor of Science concentrated in commercial construction management, and I am currently an assistant project manager for a general contractor. So I do a lot of stuff. Next question, what got you into cars and what's your dream build? So what got me into cars, I've kind of always been into cars. My dad has always been into cars like my whole life. He built circle track cars, my grandpa built circle track cars, and then my uncle built the same thing. They've all raced, they've all built cars, so I've been around it my whole life. You know, every now and then we would go to the racetrack, and I guess it just got like ingrained in my brain. How old were you when you started learning to drive? So I was 15 when I started learning how to drive. Maybe 14. No, I think I was 15, I'm pretty sure. A funny little story, when I was learning how to drive, I was driving my mom's car, and I remember I used to be terrified of other people on the road. For whatever reason, I was terrified of other people driving on the road. So I never wanted to drive on like main roads. I definitely never wanted to get on the interstate. I really didn't even want to get my license because I was just terrified of getting into a wreck. And my mom basically forced me to go out on the main road, and then once we got out there I was like, this isn't that bad. And so I drove, and then we ended up coming back home, and it was so funny because when I was pulling back into the driveway, I don't even remember why, I like went past the driveway and I was going so fast and I didn't hit the brakes, and I hit the mirror on the mailbox and just broke the mirror right off. And then we ended up using a screw and a drill to just drill the mirror back on. So that's a funny story from when I was learning how to drive. Thank God I'm a much better driver than that now though. Would you consider owning a JDM car? Yes, I would. My boyfriend actually has a 370Z right now, and I love driving it. He's gonna be selling it soon, which makes me upset, but I love driving it. I love the 300 ZXs. I love 240s, Chasers. I don't know, there's like a plethora of cars. I literally like all cars. Like, obviously a Mark IV Supra. I like the new Supras. Literally, like, I could go on. There's not many cars that I dislike, unless you drive a PT Cruiser. What's your first car, and is it manual or auto? So my first car was a 1995 Mustang GT, which, if you know anything about those year Mustangs, 95 was the last year that they did the 5.0 before they went to 4.6 liters. So I have that, and I currently still do have it. It was an automatic because at the time I did not know how to drive manual, and it was also just kind of what my dad found. So how do you deal with criticism and ignorance? This is a good question, and I feel like I get this a lot in my messages and stuff, but really you just have to let it roll off. Like, I don't think anything of it. 10 out of 10 times they are miserable usually, and they want to put other people down, or they project their own insecurities onto other people who they see are doing better than them, and you just have to let it roll off your back, honestly. Fastest you have ever driven? Do I want to answer this? I'm gonna say on a close course, probably about 140. Yeah. Can we do a two-step battle? No, because I don't have two-step. Will you ever bracket race the Mustang in the quarter mile for fun once you add power? I already do bracket race. I race every now and then at Streetcar Takeover, just whatever events are kind of closest. I raced at Streetcar Takeover Steele, Alabama. The next event I have is Streetcar Takeover Bowling Green, and that one I believe is July 28th and 29th. And then the next one after that is Streetcar Takeover in Bristol, and that is the first weekend of August. So I have 2 more races coming up, and I kind of wanted to get into it before I started adding power, just so that way I could get a feel for going down the drag strip and a feel for the power level that I'm at now. What mile per gallon? If I'm being honest, I literally never look at it. I only drive a car on the weekends, and so it does not make a difference to me if I'm getting 8 miles per gallon or if I'm getting 16 miles per gallon or if I'm getting 20 miles per gallon. So I honestly have no clue what I get. Why is Mustang more popular than other muscle cars in the USA, and what's the catch behind it? So I don't know necessarily that Mustang is more popular. Personally, I think that the Mustang is the best bang for your buck, because you can get a Mustang for a relatively good price that doesn't have, you know, a whole lot of miles on it, and the power that you're gonna get, in my opinion, is the best for the money, because one, all you have to do is slap a supercharger on it and, you know, tune it, and you're making 700 horsepower to the wheel at least. Like, I don't know, I think the S550s are definitely the best bang for the buck, and in my opinion, if you consider it the most popular in the US, which I don't know that I would consider it the most popular, that would be the reason. What headers do you have on your car? I have stainless works. Are you in a car club? The short answer is no. I don't dislike car clubs. It's just not my vibe, not my thing. So I just stay to myself. I really don't even go to meets that much anymore, just because the last meet that I was at, some guy in an M4 decided to almost maul down an entire crowd of people. So after that, I just kind of said, no, not feeling it, and I haven't gone to a meet since. So there's really no point in me being in a car club. Aside from meeting new people and making new friends, I will say that that is something really valuable that I got out of the last car group that I was in. But overall, it's just not for me. What was your first car? My first car was a 1995 Mustang GT. What is one thing you hate about your Mustang? This is a really hard question, because I don't think that there is any one thing that I hate about my car, truthfully. I really can't think of one thing that I hate about my car, if I'm being 100% honest with you. What is your inspiration to like cars? So earlier I kind of talked about it a little bit. Initially it came from my dad, my grandpa, and my great uncle all being into cars, and I kind of just followed their path. But an interesting thing is they all three also work construction, and I also followed that path of working in construction too. So I think the bigger picture thing is that I want to show other younger girls or women or whoever that no matter what any man has to say, you can do it. Because why would you not be able to? You can do anything that anybody else can do, and if I can show even 1 or 2 people that, then that makes it all worth it. Okay, this question is a 2-parter. First part is, what are your plans with both cars? And by that, I'm gonna assume that they mean the S550 and the SN95. So my plans for the S550 is to boost it. I really want it to just be a clean, quick, enjoyable car that I drag race, yes. But the only reason I started drag racing the S550 was to get my foot in the door for the SN95. So the intention for the S550 was for it to just be a show car that's fast, because I want to have maybe high 700s with the potential of maybe 800s, but I don't want it to be one of those fast cars that you hate driving, because it's my weekend car, so I want to enjoy driving it. And then the SN95, the whole goal with that is to completely redo it and make it a full-on drag car. So I've already gutted it out completely, and while we were doing that, we found out that the 2 quarter panels, literally on both sides of the car, are rusted. And so then I found out that nobody sells those quarter panels anymore. So we have to figure out how we're going to repair that. I think we're just going to cut the quarters out and weld in new sheet metal. But that's the goal with that car, and I'm not sure what platform I want to put in there yet, whether it's going to be a Coyote or some type of older motor of some sort. I pondered on LS swapping it a little bit, but I think that would make a lot of people mad. So probably not going to do that. I've pondered on using a 351 Windsor. I just don't know yet, but we'll see. The intention is to completely redo it. I want to fix the rust on the quarters, and then I want to repaint the whole thing to a color. If you want to guess the color that I'm going to repaint it, guess it in the comments. But I'm going to be repainting it, and then I want to start with the brakes and suspension, redo all of that, and then move to the actual drivetrain. So it's going to be an interesting build. It's going to take a lot of time because it's going to be very expensive, but that's also why I wanted to get my foot in the door with the S550, so that way I could have somewhere to start with the SN95. And then the second part of this question was, if I were to get another project car, what would it be? And I've always wanted a C6 Corvette. So if I had to have another project car, that's probably what it would be. But those are still pretty expensive. So I don't know. Not sure. But if money wasn't an option, or if money wasn't an issue, I would definitely go for a C6 Corvette project car. Have you ever dragged your car? And if so, what was your time? Which I already mentioned earlier in the video. Yes, I have drag raced my car before. I did a whole video about my first time at the drag strip. And so if you want to go back and watch that, you can. But I don't have a time slip for my fastest time, but I did have a video of it, and I cut the video from as soon as I took off to the very end, and it was like 12.4, 12.5. Do you have your GT tuned? So yes, I do have a tune. I'm tuned by Palm Beach Dyno right now. I have a 93 tune and an E85 tune. Tips to getting your car page to blow up, and any tips for people starting new car pages. I would say the biggest thing for me is always staying consistent. Don't ever give up just because you feel like it's not getting anywhere. Always make sure that you're posting really good quality pictures and videos. One thing that I like to do is I like to go through my Explore page and just kind of like see what other people are posting, just so I can get an idea of what Instagram is pushing out, I guess. If I had to have one car my whole life, what would it be? If money wasn't in the picture, it would be a Lamborghini Urus. What's your dream car? the one that I've been wanting most at the moment, Porsche GT4. So yeah. Why Mustang over Camaro? So this is actually a funny story. When I was 15, like right before I turned 16, my dad asked me if I wanted, he asked me if I wanted a Mustang GT or a Camaro. I just remember when I was that age and he asked me that, I thought I remembered Mustang GT being like a cool car. Like I didn't really know much about specific cars like that back then, so I didn't think much of it, but I just knew, oh, that's a cool car. And so I picked Mustang GT, and that's what he got me, the 95, and so it just kind of all started from there. Would you ever buy another 5.0? I love Mustangs, obviously, but no, I wouldn't. I bought this 5.0 that I have now. I had my white 5.0, and honestly, I don't plan to ever get rid of the one that I have now, but if I did, I wouldn't get another one. I would definitely try to get something else, just because there's so many different cars that I like, and I want to experience having other cars too. And I already have the SN95, which if I coyote swapped that, then I would have 2 coyote platforms, so there would be no point in getting a third, or if I sold this one, getting another coyote platform. So S550 or S650? This is easy for me. I'm going with S550. How many passes have you done at the drag strip? Maybe 5, but I think it was only 4. Yeah, because I had 3 races and 2 qualifying passes, so it was 5. But that's it. There'll be more coming up, but so far, just 5. If you had to get another car today that wasn't a Mustang, what would it be? Either a GT4 Porsche or a C7 Z06. Will you ever get a GT500? I think I would get a 13-14 GT500, but I don't know if I would ever buy one of the new GT500s. Have you ever tried or considered track or road racing before? No, I have never tried it, and if I'm being honest, no, I've never considered it. I just always have wanted to drag race. That's like been the thing ever since I was probably since I first got my first Mustang when I was 15 or 16. My thing was I want to drag race. I want to drag race. Why did you decide to start showing your car content on social media? It's kind of always been something I've posted about since I was like 16. So it's not really anything new. It just only started blowing up in the past like year or so. And I never really had the intention of posting to grow until the last year. So I was just posting just for fun. I just wanted to share the stuff that I loved, and yeah. Would you add nitrous to your car? Probably not, if I'm being honest. I don't know what it is about nitrous, it just scares me. How much horsepower have you gained with the exhaust and headers? If I'm being honest, I don't know. I haven't dynoed my car. I didn't dyno it before. So I really have no idea number-wise. I just know that I can tell a pretty big difference. When are you gonna let me shoot the car? Whenever you're in Nashville, I guess. What made you get a Mustang instead of any other muscle car brand? I already touched on this. It was just because my dad asked me, do you want a Mustang GT or do you want a Camaro? I picked Mustang GT, and so my first car was a 1995 Mustang GT, and from there I just loved Mustangs, and this is my 3rd one now. So yeah, that's it. That's all the questions. I hope that you guys learned something new. I hope that you thought that it was interesting, and hopefully I'll do more videos like this in the future. If you guys want me to, let me know in the comments. Yeah, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe.